Okay. There we go. Now we're live. Just a couple people on YouTube, one person on Twitch. All right. Hey, we got Warrior Lion and Ryuk Buys. Thank you guys for popping in. Yes, the dungeon. That's exactly, obviously leaning into that a little bit here. It's, I thought it would be appropriate, pretty entertaining. All right, cool. Well, it looks like this is working. If you've got any random questions about castles, this is a great time. I'm liking my the reason I've got the, if you see on the sides, I've got the little torches. I tried to get them animated, but I was having a problem. I have them animated, as a matter of fact, but I was having a problem getting the center of the screen to be transparent. So I didn't come up with a good solution for that yet. So it looks like if I use OBS or something, I can probably fix that problem. But at the moment, I'm just using StreamYard. So from Professor Dumbledore, yes, indeed, I have a new green screen. It is not wide enough for the aspect ratio of the camera. So it shows the real dungeon on the edges of the screen. That's why I have the little side banners on this to hide the deficiency of my green screen. It works really good though. Otherwise, it looks pretty clear. I mean, there's a little bit, at least on my end, there's a little bit of a wobbling to the picture, like right at the top of the chair. It was pretty hilarious when I had a green shirt on. I did a quick camera check and I'm like, oh yeah, floating head. Should probably fix that. That's pretty stupid, but let's go ahead and answer a couple of questions. Oopsies. How do we do this? There we go. Ryuk Buys. How's the new website coming along? Very, very good. Within a day or two, I would guess, tomorrow or the next day, we should have the internal version of the website probably live. I'm sure it'll have bugs. I'm sure it'll have stretched images and things that we've got to fix. Pretty much a guarantee. But we'll have the developer version and we'll start testing it. So we are hopefully on schedule for it to go live for everybody by next Friday. That's the estimate right now. So we're hoping. But obviously this week will be a big test if we're on schedule for that. But it's a lot nicer. It's a lot nicer and a lot more uniform in the branding. Whereas our current website kind of bounces you back and forth between the idea of Metasource cards and castles. This new website is going to be entirely dedicated to castles. Should streamline a lot of things and look really sharp. So thank you for the question. Next question from Quiz Planet. Will there be use cases for MSource with dungeons, or is that only RuneSource? I don't know if there will be any direct use case for MSource in dungeons. At the moment, there won't be. I don't think so. But the only way that you get rune source is from MSource. So if you think of it that way, then the answer is yes. There is going to be, so right now, let me kind of explain that answer a little bit. Right now, the only way to get rune source, and probably for a while, I would guess at least the first month or 2 months of its existence, the only way to get rune source is going to be either owning the Explorers Guild or doing the land pack crafting yourself. And every time a land pack is crafted, Explorers Guild owners will get a small amount each, and the land pack crafter will get some rune source also. That's how that works. I think everybody pretty well understands that. The only way to do that land pack crafting is through fine wood, and you get fine wood from lumber, you get lumber from Metasource. So rune source is essentially a very, very refined version of MSource. We are planning to make a secondary source of rune source. And I can give you a quick tip about how that's going to work. Ultimately, if you look at the idea of land pack crafting versus barons, right? Barons have a bit more of an investment because you have to have the baron. But as far as efficiency is concerned, you get your 7 lands per 1 royal seal. That's pretty awesome. Comparatively with land pack crafting, it's going to be about 2 lands per royal seal, plus you need some fine wood. So the ratios are a lot worse. But of course, it comes with rune source. This new source of rune source will basically still come from Metasource. It'll probably be more of a direct translation, like a certain amount of MSource becomes rune source. But if you math out how much MSource is 1 rune source, you can actually do that math. You can get some rough numbers. The amount that you'll be getting, like if you transport the MSource directly into rune source, it'll be about half or worse efficiency. So it'll allow you to skip lumber and fine wood, which will be relevant to newer players potentially. So they may still choose to do it, but it'll be less efficient for sure. And you won't get land and things like that. So rune source will have that alternative means of generation, but it'll be a lot less efficient. Okay, let's get to the next question. We got a bunch of good ones. I like these questions, you guys. Okay, J-Ray all day. Like the name, very entertaining. Are there plans to stop selling royal seals for 5 on NFT and leave it up to castle owners / secondary, or will they always be available for retail? This is a good question. Right now, there's no plans to stop selling royal seals. If we did that, it would undermine the royal courthouse. And also, there just is, sorry, probably should have brought a water to an impromptu AMA, but I forgot. Such is the nature of impromptu. But anyway, there just isn't enough supply from castle owners. You know, if things change in the future, I mean, we're always willing to make changes where it's appropriate. I don't foresee this being a change that we'll have in the future. I really don't. But I don't know. I really doubt it. They'll probably always be $5 on NFT. There's nothing that I foresee changing that. But you know, I don't want to ever say never to anything, but probably not. Very unlikely. Okay. With market now in the bear market, you got that right. What are the plans for continued development? Okay, so we have quite a bit. Baron sales will continue. Metasource cards development and sales will continue. Royal Seals use case will continue expanding constantly. So that, 50% of that goes back to you guys, 50% of that goes to us. So that is a very helpful revenue stream. The hero sales, we'll get to be getting to that question next. The hero fragment sales, and then eventually hero pack sales, dungeon tomes. We've got a lot down the pipeline. Now, we are hopefully going to be doing a lot of marketing to get new blood in for all of these different things. So, you can expect lots of marketing pushes. The bear market stinks, right? Nobody's really enjoying the bear market, but there are some positives to it. There are new opportunities for new players to come in. Wax is pretty affordable, and it was over 30 cents very recently, and now it's down to like 15 or less. I haven't looked in just a little while. I've looked today specifically, but there's a lot of precedent for it to go back up. This is not financial advice by any means, but there's possibility for new people to come in. And so that's kind of a nice thing. Our assets kind of ballooned in value and maybe more than they should have. So they're down from their all-time high for sure. But what isn't, right? The game is still clicking. Everything is still working. Kingdoms are still being built up. So we're doing pretty good despite the bear market. We're not in any immediate danger, I would say. So let's get to a question I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. Can you tell us more about the hero pack fragments? Is it only 3 pieces, 1 out of Metasaurus, 1 R-Source, 1 out of Wax? Can you tell us how many of each will be available? I can give you some rough numbers, maybe not final numbers, but rough numbers. So yes, those are the 3 fragments to answer that part. There are only those 3 pieces. Combining them will also use a royal seal. So for each pack. So there's going to be 2 outcomes. Okay. And you're going to choose which outcome you want, not, it's not like a random outcome. You're going to choose which outcome you want. So there's the Great Hero Pack and the Mighty Hero Pack, essentially. Each one is going to be essentially a single hero plus some equipment. And what that will look like is the better pack will have a much lower chance of a common hero and higher chances basically for a better hero. But each pack will always come with exactly 1 hero. And the packs are right now intended to be basically double price, right? So one is twice the price of the other. And so for the base pack, it will probably be 1 of the M source, 1 of the R source, and 1 of the wax fragments, plus 1 royal seal. And that'll be what it crafts. We're aiming for about 2,500 of those packs. If I'm remembering right, that might be wrong. Maybe it's 1,500. Yeah, okay. I think it may be 1,500 of those packs. So 1,500 for that first drop. 1,500. So that's 1,500 of each of those fragments, right? And then the double value one, there will only be 500 of those available. And they will use the same fragments, just multiples of them, right? So 2 of them at a source. I do actually think they're intended right now to use 3 of the rune source and 2 of the wax plus 2 royal seals. I think that's the intention. So total fragments available should be in the 2,500 range. That's what's going to be. That's what those are going to look like. Should be interesting. We should be able to get that going here within the next couple of weeks. We might even get the blend available before rune source is available, just so that you can kind of preview it. But It should be coming soon. That should be live almost at the same time as Rune Source becomes live. So the Explorers Guild's going to go live. It might be a small delay. We kind of mentioned that before. Might be a 1 week delay on the Explorers Guild. So everybody can rejoice at an extra week to gather fine wood. But if we do have that delay, the plan is still for the first week of the Explorers Guild event. The first week, the land pack crafting won't be live. And then starting 1 week in, the land pack crafting will go live. So it gives everybody a week to make as many Explorers Guilds as they want. And then you do get, you do still have that second week to make more Explorers Guilds. Like if you decide, hey, I made 10 the first week. I really feel like this is going to be awesome. I want another 10. You do still have that time to do that. But the land pack crafting won't be available the first week. Okay. But anyways, to finish that thought, sorry, I got distracted. This fragment sale and the use case, the first use case for our source in that sense, will be up very, very shortly after those land packs are craftable. So you'll be able to use your rune source almost right away. And realistically, it may be a bit of a race to make as many land packs as you can to get the rune source, because the fragments are going to be limited. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Okay, this one's a quick one. When will the new resources be live on Alcor? Rune source technically should be live on Alcor pretty soon, just so long as once we finish the icon. There won't be any supply of it until we start generating it with the land pack crafting, with the Explorers Guild, expeditions and voyages. But the token will be on Alcor. It'll be on Alcor before you can get it. Okay, let's see. Yes, yeah, that's answering. That's a follow-up to the Royal Seals question. Thank you. Quick shout out for Mikoverse. Hey, what's up, buddy? Just doing a test. Doing a test on the new green screen. Looks pretty sharp, right? Pretty sharp. All right, cool. Castles 24 on DAP radar. How accurate is that? Any way to move up on the list? I have no idea. I don't know. We're working hard on marketing. I don't know how accurate DAP radar is when they poll their numbers and things like that. I really am not sure how accurate it is, to be honest. I assume that's 24 on wax, not 24 overall. If it was 24 overall, that'd be like, wow, that's very impressive. I'm guessing that's number 24 on wax. And it's really hard to tell. When you have games like Farmer's World that it was very beneficial to multi-account and have tons of bots playing your game, DAP Radar doesn't do a very good job of filtering those out. So, some of these other games that are very exploitable, DAP Radar might report them as having 10 times more players than us, when in reality it's half the players and 20 times the bots. So something like that. But I don't know for sure. We're just going to keep on working on development and marketing and do the best we can. Okay, will the Explorers Guild event launch be delayed? It could be delayed by as much as 1 week. It's not for certain. This week will probably tell. By the end of this week, it's going to depend on the new website, right? The only reason that it would be delayed at all, and we mentioned this maybe Friday or Thursday last week, but the only reason it would be delayed at all is because we're really trying to get the new website out and polished before the Explorers Guild event. And the reason is we keep simultaneously developing the new website and the old website because we have to keep up with the events, and it's wasting a lot of time, right? So we're fixing the old website and getting all the hooks and the integrations for wonders and crafting. And that's good things that we need to do. But, it takes 3-4 days, maybe the whole week of development. And then while the event is running, we get 1 week of development on the new website. And then the next week we're like, oh, we got to go back to the old website and get the next event ready. And it's kind of been like that for the last few weeks. And so progress on the new website is being heavily crippled by kind of the speed of our schedule. We don't dislike the speed of our schedule. We like developing quickly. But it was causing a problem with the website. So once we get the new website out, and then we can leave the old website behind, we probably won't turn it off right away. So like you can still use it if there are bugs and things like that. But the new site will be really helpful. It'll be so much nicer to only have to be developing new features in one place rather than developing new features in 2 separate sites. It's really doubling the workload for basically no gain. So we'll be figuring that out really soon. If the website comes together a lot faster, if we launch it for the developers to start testing tomorrow, and it's looking great, very little bugs, and by the time we launch it for you guys the following week, estimated on the 20th, if everything is super polished, we're looking really, really good, then maybe we don't have to delay. We'll just have to see how that turns out. Right now, this week has been good so far. So I would say we're doing okay, but it's better safe than sorry. And that's kind of what the extra week is for. We don't want to launch the new site and have it be super buggy. Because the new site, we're not developing the Explorers Guild pages for the old site. We're just only developing them on the new site. And so if we launch the Explorers Guild event on time on the new site and it's very buggy, it would lead to a very bad experience. And that's definitely not something that we want. I'll get back to you in just a second, Warrior Lion. I just wanted to answer this one really quick. How many dev/mod accounts in the Baron whitelist? I removed the dev accounts, so we're not in it. But there may be a couple of mods. The mods are not, other than Devi, our mods are volunteers. So they have every right to be included in the whitelist too. So some of them may have made it in. I'm not 100% sure. I think I know at least one of them did make it in, but he wasn't planning on buying one. But I don't know about the others. Okay, backing up one question. Back to Warrior Lion, following up on those hero packs. The prices of each fragment. Okay, I can give you rough numbers, and these are probably close, if not exactly right. But I can't be 100%, right? These could be the numbers, but they might also adjust. So for the Metasource fragment, probably around 400,000 Metasource. So one castle week worth of Metasource. For Rune Source, probably 1,000 Rune Source. And if I'm remembering right, just take this with a little bit of a grain of salt because I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I have a spreadsheet with all the information and things like that. I think it's 400,000, 1,000, and $35 worth of wax. So fairly inexpensive. And then one Royal Seal. And by including the Royal Seal, of course, we're trying to... let me double clarify that. So obviously we're including the Royal Seal because it's important that we consistently are using Royal Seals where appropriate. So there's a Royal Seal, but also the fragment that costs wax. We are intending for 10% of that sale, similar to the Baron sale, 10% of that sale will go straight to the Royal Courthouse, MS Royal Court wallet that will be shared with all the bounty holders. So you can factor that too. So there's that will be there, and that'll probably be the case throughout all the Hero Pack stuff. I don't want to necessarily say guaranteed, but it probably will be the case that 10% of every single drop, probably including the dungeon tomes, will be going into that MS Royal Court. Okay, Crypto AI, just wanted to give you a quick shout out. Thank you for the props. I'm enjoying the silly little dungeon background too. It's kind of cool. I thought, I would lean into the memes instead of trying to fight against them. Just lean right into it. Quick shout out for Consumer Break. Thank you for the fun little app. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that little collaboration. That's pretty cool. You know that we love to do giveaways. We love to do them in new and exciting ways. So when Consumer Break reached out to us, it was a no-brainer. No-brainer. We want to give you guys stuff to do and enjoy and reward you for doing it. So thank you. Okay, I think that's been all the questions that I've seen so far. Feel free to throw out some more if you have more. But I do feel like this has been a decent little camera test for me. Everything looks okay. Let's let me do something else here. We will test. We'll test my secondary screen here. Share screen, monitor 2. Okay. So see now, there we go. You can't see me now because of the bars. It looks all ridiculous. Put the green shirt back on. So I have a floating head in the dungeon. I probably will. That's pretty entertaining. This is being recorded, Dav Istanbul, so you can always watch it later. I don't know if anybody will do a recap or not. Let's see. Let me get rid of the overlay. There we go. See now in my little picture down there, my little not quite floating head off to the side, you can see that my little dungeon background does not extend the full length of the picture. So that's why I had those sidecars. But there we go. See? You can see the real dungeon behind, and you can kind of tell the edges of the green screen. There we go. Entertaining. Real quick, Makeoverse. Where are you? Yeah, I'm in. My actual location is in a basement, right? It's a work in progress. I've got an office down here, and it's just not all the way finished. I've got a whole bunch of things that I've been doing lately with development. Haven't had a ton of spare time to frame some walls and throw up some drywall. I used to do construction, so I know how, but I don't have the time. No time. All right. El Ranky, has the whole experience as a developer in blockchain been more stressful than anticipated? More stressful than anticipated. I don't know about that. I anticipated it being fairly stressful. So, yeah, I don't know about more stressful. It's a little stressful for sure, but it's been, you guys make it easy. You guys are a fantastic community that we are really, really happy that we've got you guys. it makes it a lot easier, right? If we had a community that was constantly giving us a hard time when we have little small delays and different things, it would make it more stressful. But we have a really great community. You guys make it really easy. And we try not to overwork ourselves. Me and Robert probably still do, but we're working as hard as we can not to overdo it. Which means, when it's lunchtime, we leave, leave the computer, put the phone down, walk away. Robert likes to take long walks, which generally get interrupted about 500 times. Right before I was on stream just now, I had to call him to ask him to grab a thing for me, and it's a whole thing. So it is what it is, but we try and not get overworked and decompress a little bit, because if you do work constantly, it leads you to be less efficient, and that's no good. We don't want that. Couple of questions about Monster Masher. We won't go into those probably. If people want to learn about Monster Masher, they're super welcome to, but it isn't related to castles, so we'll move on from that one, because this is a castles focused AMA. But thank you for your comments. Red House for the win, right? Anyway, Lumberjacks staying at 4 seals each to renew. Right now, there's no plans to change this for the time being. So up until this point, it has seemed fairly expensive, but now that we're in May and the Royal Courthouse is available for everybody to start earning, start getting their wax reward shares and things like that. Essentially, you have to think of it that way, is basically 2 seals for the team and 2 seals for the community, right? So that's kind of the way that we see it. The seals basically half, it's 50%. It's technically 4 seals, 50% of each, but it works out to some for the development team and some for the community. So that's kind of the thought process on that. So if if you've built a lot of courthouses, you'll get it back, at least in a decent way. No plans to change that currently. Like I said, I never want to say never, because we do pride ourselves on being flexible, but currently no plans. Crypto AI, you guys will need a vacation after Explorers Guild before Dungeons, pretty much for sure. Yeah, I'm taking one around the same time as Explorers Guild. I'll be working, of course, but I'll be away from home. I've got my laptop. It should be set up for everything on the laptop too, so should be fine. But yeah, we'll need some decompressed time before Dungeons. But Dungeons is coming along really nicely. We're excited to show you guys that. As a matter of fact, I wonder if I have any. Before I say I have a sneak peek, I need to make sure somebody else hasn't already shown it off. I showed off the Royal Seal, Rune Source, token work in progress. Robert showed off a couple of Lunas. So I think the last time we did a stream, me and Robert, we talked about monsters a little bit and how we didn't have them, but we actually have our first one almost finished. This is really close to being finished. Let me see here. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's share the screen. Share screen. Ta-da! So there you go. Our first monster, which is, of course, the slime. You can see he's eaten a quill pen and a little ink vat and some odd other pieces, but pretty cool. Little gloop slime monster. This is obviously this is a very low tier enemy. You know, this is a bottom tier, but monsters are coming along, and that's the first one that's in a pretty finished state. I got a lot more. I got a lot of Luna art here. That's kind of Robert's. It's kind of Robert's character that he's babying. So we're each kind of in charge of a different hero, since there are three of us that are kind of overseeing the art. Caldor is the one that I've been overseeing. Luna is Robert's, and then our thief Night Sky has been keeping an eye on. So I don't want to share. Those are their sneak peeks to share. Let's see here. Okay, another question here. A leaderboard for landowners, is that still happening? This is one of those features. This is one of a number of features, actually, that have been on hold for a long time because of the website. Because we're already doing too much with the dev team as far as developing smart contracts at quite a pace, as well as the front end for 2 different websites. So that's kind of the reason why some of these quality of life things have fallen behind. We definitely still like this idea of a leaderboard for landowners. And hopefully once the new website is out and we have a little more breathing room between dungeons. So let me give you guys some kind of thoughts for the timelines for this. So after the Explorers Guild comes out, new website is out. We have a couple of behind the scenes changes for the different tokens and things that should make them a little more efficient, trim down some CPU usage for everybody. We've got some optimizations that are kind of waiting for the website also. Once we get all of that clicking in a pretty decent way, we're probably going to have simultaneous development of quality of life additions for the website, while we are working on getting testnet versions of the dungeons going. I would guess that so early June, right? Next month, early June, we should have the website should be clicking, Explorers Guild should be going, fragment sales should start fairly early in June. And then at that point, we're going to be in a good place. Dungeons testnet, very unlikely to happen in June, maybe not even July. That might be something that we're looking at in August. And so while that's being developed behind the scenes, we should also have a lot of time to develop the website. And what that looks like is things like this. A leaderboard for landowners. We promised a while back a dedicated marketplace. So a dedicated marketplace so that you can pick up, you can sell lands, buy lands, etc. directly on the website rather than having to go to Atomic or Nifty or NFT Hive, things like that. Definitely something that we want to do. So hopefully that'll be, late June kind of a thing. We'll be developing during June and maybe ready by the end of June. And then, it'll come out in stages. The first version may not be great, but it'll have some helpful functionality, and then, we'll refine. A pack opening. So we get this question a lot when we do drops, when we give out raffle reward packs, things like that. People are like, hey, how do I open this? And when it comes to the raffle reward packs, the answer is always NFT blocks. Atomic Hub doesn't have any way of opening pre-minted packs, which are packs that we fill with pre-minted NFTs. That's a NFT blocks feature, so you have to unpack them on NFT blocks. But it would be nice if you could just unpack them on our website, right? That'd be really convenient. So that's something that we want to do. The Nifty Blends page, for little things, it's a possibility. That one's a little more complicated. So I'm not 100% sure Nifty Blends is something that we can do easily on the new site. We'll see. But I'm interested in doing it. I'd like to, if we can make it work. If we can make it both work and work smoothly, that's kind of the trick. I think we can do it, but it might be really janky. And if it's janky, then why would we do it? Let's just use Nifty, and that's fine. But it would be convenient to do everything on our site. So we're going to try. We're going to experiment. But it's probably a little later after everything else. So hopefully that kind of answers that question and a little bit more. Dav Istanbul, what will be the fighting mechanism? Is the kill guaranteed if the hero is the right type? We are still going back and forth on the fighting mechanism and what the odds are going to be, like guaranteed versus 50-50 versus 75%, stuff like that. There's some internal development still on that right now. The way that it works is it's not a guarantee, but and heroes can only fight monsters that are appropriately vulnerable to the hero. So if you want to fight every single monster, you will have to outfit at least one of each type of hero. But if you want to focus on one hero and deck them out in the best gear so that you can focus on fighting that specific type of monsters, then you'll be able to either trade the other ones away, sell them, give them to your buddy, whatever you want to do, that'll be up to you. So right now it's not guaranteed. We have kind of gone back and forth on, if you're out tiering a monster by a certain amount, like if it's a common monster and you're a rare hero, there's the exact numbers are not finished for stuff like that. We don't want to make anything too mandatory. If a mythic hero just becomes so incredibly overpowered that everything else feels bad. We don't want that, but we do at the same time want a mythic hero to be appropriately awesome. And they're going to be really, really rare. Really, really rare to get a mythic. Just for reference, out of the hero packs, we kind of talked about hero packs earlier. The base pack only has commons or uncommons. And then the next pack has commons, but they're actually not very often that you'll get a common. Most likely you'll get an uncommon and then a pretty slim chance at a rare. And that's the best that you can get from the packs is a rare. And it's pretty slim odds. There are beyond that, there are epic, legendary, and mythic that are only going to be obtainable playing the game. So I'll throw out a quick caveat. Technically, there is merging for heroes. So commons merge into an uncommon, which merges into a rare, which merges into an epic. But that's where the road stops. So technically, you can get epics from packs by getting enough rares. But merging them is kind of an involved process. It's not just grab 3 and merge. It'll have costs associated with it. So it won't be something that you'll be able to do immediately anyways. But you will be able to get up to epic by merging. But legendaries and mythics are exclusively through drops by killing monsters, right? That's the only way. And they're going to be pretty rare, pretty darn rare. So it should be an awesome chase thing. And obviously the amount of armor and, well, not just armor, but just equipment in general that we have for each character is pretty crazy. So it should be an awesome little chase mechanic for everybody. Okay, we've been running for 45 minutes or so now. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm going to need to go take a break here in a bit. Any other thoughts? Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for popping into this impromptu little thing here, this little AMA, little mic check, basically. Green screen test. I did a green screen test on my own, and I just wasn't 100% sure. Wanted to give it a proper go, and I figured I had a little time, so why not pop it up, turn it live, and let you guys ask some questions. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. This will be available on Twitch or YouTube. So if you want to go back and watch anything or make fun of it, leave ridiculous comments. Whatever you want to do, totally fine. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys later.